Hi, today I'm going to be talking about the TOEFL exam that is required for you to be applying for your CAPIT cycle, or it could be for your master's program. It could be any master's program, mainly for your public health or your MHA or oral health sciences. So we all know, we all ask the same question over and over again: what is a perfect TOEFL score? Well, there's certainly no perfect TOEFL score because you know the same person can be giving TOEFL every time and you would still get a different score. So what is the perfect for you? Where do you want to reach? And now to the standards about when you're applying for CAPID, mainly they always do say that, and then obviously there are a few exceptions, like there are a few universities who can be asking for a comparatively lower score, but they do ask for a minimum 100. So just to get that perfect 100, what I did, I always felt I could not get 100. So I don't know why. I should have not been thinking that way, first of all, to get started. But initially, I didn't want to. I don't want to do so much preparation to get 100. I was always playing between the 90s and a little bit less than 100, but I would never just reach to that 100. So, in India, when I started, my TOEFL score was 89, and then I was applying for more schools for like my master's courses, and I would get like 92, or I would get a 97. I would go back to getting 94, and I feel like, wait a minute, this is not a consistent score. Like I should be improving every time. And this year, when I'm applying for my cap and cycle, I just thought that, I need a strategy. What can actually help me to get that 100? So, what I did is I looked up for sources online. Not to say that the other sources that I practiced before were not helpful. Obviously, they were helpful. It was just I was not disciplined enough to actually read those books or actually put that desk in and do those practice tests, or online go and do the practice test. It was boring to actually kind of do it in that way, to actually go and watch so many YouTube videos or any free resources. I used the Princeton, the Cambridge, but those books, I do get the concept, but what kind of questions are going to be asked. And I would do that like maybe a week or 2 weeks before the exam, and nothing more than that. So, but this time, in order to get the 100, I was like, let me think, what can I do? Something that needs to work in my favor. It needs to be really interactive when I'm practicing on the test. So I call this a 89 for 100. That means I had this $89 subscription from the TSP Prep, and there's no promotion I'm doing for this person whatsoever. And it's just that I invested that 89. And when we do the 89, it was for 1 year. I think they grant you access for 1 year. And the first time I was like, okay, I'm doing this preparation. I just did it for like, I did an emergency course and did maybe 2 or 3 practice papers, went ahead. Again, I just got this 97 or 98, and I'm still looking and I'm like, oh, it's not 100. And so I think I get another test in the same year in February after maybe 4 or 5 months, and it came down to like a 91 or 92. And I'm like, what am I doing wrong? And I'm using this TST prep, and what I did is like, I'm already doing this material. Let me try to stick onto it. I finished their 10 practice test. So I was like, let me go through the strategy. My strategy is to be completing 10 reading, 10 listening, 10 writing. Like it's just a flow. I knew my speaking was good, and I did not like want to practice too much, but I did need the practice for the TOEFL speaking, which is way more different than the regular speaking. So as I went ahead and did those 10 practice tests, I was not going to do more than 10. So I knew that I was just going to do 10. And I'll look back, go see my mistakes, and how did I land up with that one wrong answer. So it's just that knowing where and what kind of questions you were getting wrong, because there was a pattern on the questions that I was getting wrong. So I would just reread the answers, or like try to attempt the questions that I did wrong. And I felt very nice because I didn't have to do thousands and thousands of practice papers to um, get that 100. And I actually just wanted the 100. I swear to God, I just wanted the 100. I didn't need it would have been nice if I got 105, or like, but I was like, I know for the amount of effort I put in, I'm asking way too much. And what the other thing I noticed is, like, with the TST prep, they have few resources, free resources that you can use before you actually download or do the subscription. So if you don't want to, like, waste your money, try to use the free resources, like, with additional to whatever resources you're already using. You might kind of have that helpful. All I mean to say is, have a strategy. You have to have a strategy of how you're doing it. It's not that your English is bad, or we have good English anyways, but it's just that we need to crack that test. So I want you to feel confident, and I want you to get the score that you actually want, but just be disciplined enough to actually follow through the strategy that you're using. Your strategy could be something else, and that is absolutely fine, but this worked for me. And I also have one of my friend, I'm like, hey, and he studied, and I want to say this because he studied in another medium that was Gujarati, and in college we studied English, but he throughout studied it in Gujarati, and he still scored a better score than me, and he did use the TSP. He's like, oh, why didn't you use the TSP? I'm like, I did, but I'm not getting that 100. And I'm like, okay, let me be more disciplined. And you have to be a little bit more disciplined, plan ahead. I would say take a year. It's not like you're going to do in 2 weeks and get the best score. And I feel that was my mistake. So luckily, like, the subscription helped me, because I had to use the subscription. So I I actually used all the $89 I had to, that I spent over. So I'm very happy about it. And he actually got a very better score, because I don't know how, but he did use the TSP, and he got 108 or something like that, which is very awesome. Like, so basically, this is not about your English. This is about cracking that TOEFL exam. Obviously, a little bit of English when you're speaking or understanding, but everybody can do it, and everybody can get that score. And you're gonna be you're going to be applying to dental schools, and everyone's going to get an awesome score. And the other thing that worked in my favor, because after the pandemic, the schools were accepting the home IBT, and I am so so happy for that. Because with the regular IBT, what happens is, like, you sit down and you're reading, and you see people talking over about which place do you live in, and they giving answers, and I'm trying to concentrate on my reading. When I'm reading, I like to concentrate. People like just browse through and answer those questions, but even if you browse through, you want to understand the subject. But yes, there's a lot of noises, background noises, when we go to the test center. And like, when you're speaking, there's so many people like speaking with you, which is another problem. But when the home IBT was accepted, I was very very happy, and I gave it for the first time, and that was the time when I got a complete perfect score that I wanted, was 100, and I exactly got that 100. What they do is, they obviously scan your room, and it's just the exact same thing. What I used was this transparent sheet of paper. So you put the sheet, you put any paper in that transparent sheet. Just buy a marker, erasable marker, and that should work perfect for you. And there's no other investment needed in the home IBT, but do remember to log in. At least I would say be prepared, because there's no refunds for the home IBT. So you want to be prepared with like, your desk setup and everything way before, I would say, half an hour at least. The breaks are as regular as the center, when you take it at the center. I don't think you're supposed to be using your headphones. It would be through the speaker that's on your laptop, or your computer. And but yeah, so the home IBT worked really good for me, because I was like, there's no distractions for me, and I love to speak just by myself, and it actually give me good time for thinking. And I would just look down and I just speak. And I know, like, one of my friends, she felt like someone's watching her, and she didn't feel comfortable with that. With me, I am totally fine with, even if you're watching me, I'm still gonna concentrate, because I don't see that person. I just see the screen, and that's good. Like, they can see me, but I don't see them. So, like, I felt comfortable. So it's totally up to you. And I hope you all get your perfect score, and I hope this video was very, very helpful for you. And I hope this really helps you in applying to your dental schools with the perfect TOEFL score you require too. So all the best.